Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 9th of January. And well, we had a nice little pivot down there lower on the excitement, popped right back up. We filled in, a lot of the positive extremes we were talking about from before. We had it from this level and then going all the way back over to here. It's a nice fill in from that one, and the furthest one is this all the way over here. That's the big kahuna when it happens. We're not there yet with this. This was just some small weakness with the steel popping up above red, but we know that we have short-term buyers on a full reset here. We moved back below the negative 13.5 in this case. We could see a little bit more softness, but that was a nice little punch up. We can see in after hours we're just flat right now, so you really can't count this lower portion, but the tick up with short-term buyers at the same time with shorts, they were forced to cover within that, and that's why you're seeing the decline in short interests and the profit takers from the short-term buyers. But a full reset here of the shakeout, and we're not negative, so that's worth noting, and we'll keep an eye, but I think we're likely to turn around here. We don't see any dips. It'd be nice if we saw a dip below the green line, because that would be the indication that you've got new buyers ready to flood back in. Not the case at this particular moment. Likewise, similar scenario with the NASDAQ, a little bit softer from those short-term buyers, and that's really been the catalyst for the market in general. The euro taking back a little bit, and that caused some of that fallback because of that adjustment, but not really surprising, because we talked about this, where the euro's got to come back and fill this dip below the red line, below that 110 level. Oil retrace there, so conflict fade out with the president saying they're really, as far as they're concerned, they kind of done what they needed to. A little bounce back. It's hard to believe that things are done, but as far as an escalation goes, I think that kind of ended. But this becomes more interesting other than just the fill of the positive extremes, which there really weren't anything other than these right here that had already been taken care of. So you have to go all the way back to this marker, back way in the beginning of December. So all in all, looking pretty good overall. And from gold standpoint, of course, that let the air out. Some people taking some profits on that. No shock with that. From a 5K standpoint, wow, I had to shrink this down. There was some good volume on the day. So we had the pretty good sized dip that led down to that nice buy. And this corresponded to a MOBI that took place on the 50K as well. And once we got above that 3205, the next level of resistance was right up here at the 27, little frog in my, and we kind of hovered around there. We did do a DOC spread, but with an extreme move of short-term buyers below. So as soon as it popped back above and stabilized, boom, the turnaround took place right back at the green over. So what we weren't seeing with this is that dip below the red line that would have indicated that there was any degree of selling. We did get that over here after this one. Same situation though. You have a nice steel dip down below, and then once the orange crossed back underneath, that was pretty much the end of it within like 4 bars. And then if we slide across to get more action in there, let's move over there. We go. And we proceeded to move back above. We had another DLC spread right about here, but again, similar situation with the dip crossover. You still had, magenta and all that above the 25 level before it began to dip. And that just pretty much stayed soft throughout there, which meant that we were just in that same retest phase. I thought we might see a little bit more from that one, but not really happening as we started to turn around briefly with this just softening, and then we just kind of edged back up. So not much there from a bonus standpoint. What ended up happening here is we ended up with a slightly lower shakeout to the previous one on higher highs. That's where we began a little bit more interesting here as we ended the day, and that one actually produced a little bit more, but again, you can see steel crossing back over bullish, but we didn't have the corresponding dip of orange. That didn't happen until later, right about here, which was the turnaround point that just took place just a little bit ago, right about there. It was a pretty decent signal given that. I would expect that we're going to come back to this at some point in the after hours, so that's where that is. But the 50K is still trading on that one. Let's take a look at the 50K right here for the Momo trade, which took place, I guess, around the 32. Look at the exact number, 32.28 range, just what we were expecting. And right at this algo, I have it at 92, but 28 is fine. You could call it 27 3/4. Either way, it's right in that vicinity there. And sure enough, that produced the bounce. So all in all, we're just plugging away, countering what most expectations are, and that's always the key. You know, if everyone thinks that it's going to do something, that's usually not what's going to happen. Classic play. As always, though, I will put up anything that's relevant as we go. Trade well. We'll talk again later.